Get on the
Those
money.
are all for if they deliver to
Okay,
those spots.
we call the meeting to order. Stand for the pledge.
Well, I can explain that.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. No addition.
I'll probably have a couple questions along the way.
Stand as presented. Review and approve the minutes of April 24th, 25.
I move for approval.
Or,
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Review and approve bills. Accounts payable dated May 1st. $80,040.95.
move to approve.
Support. Kathy wants to buy gas at the price we can buy it for.
Yes, I do. $2.02 a gallon.
Now that tells you how much taxes on it, don't
Well, part of that is because it's a truckload
it? Yeah.
price, that's cheaper too.
We bought about 5,000 gallons.
Now we wanna sign benefits to all commissioners who wear a gas here.
Oh, new perk.
Never thought of that one.
I like it. We will buy our gas here. You heard that. We don't want free gas, but we'll buy it at $2.02 a gallon.
Right.
You guys want to get recalled to what you want to do.
No, we don't want free gas. We want to buy our gas.
I don't want nothing to do with that. I don't want to have nothing to do with that.
I don't either.
Oh.
Any more discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.
The guardrail spraying, if I may, is that for the whole, our whole thing, $8,000 for this year?
Yes.
Was it?
I believe so.
Yeah. I thought it was just a one-time payment, it's not a progress payment. No. Okay. I kinda thought that was the case.
We don't just do part of the county each year?
We do the brush
The
spray.
brush spray is first one, and then they'll come back in later and spray for weeds, to try to keep the weeds down.
Brush spray is part of the county, 1/4. Guardrails, we do the whole county.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what-
Nope, don't give me that.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm just passing things along.
Who will figure this line out?
Outside.
That's what the grass.
I just like it was only $80,000.
I think everyone signs that.
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
2411.
Be on the alert for the next one.
Isn't that the case?
Provide.
Looks-
Payroll dated May 8th, for $115,930.42.
I move that we approve the payroll dated May 8th for $115,938.42.
Sign.
Any discussion? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you. Treasurer's report.
The
beginning cash and investment balance is $2,261,488.60. Total receipts was $765,645.99. Total in bills and payroll was $195,971. I'm sorry, not saying it correctly. $195,971.37. Bonds and escrow is $10,250. CD reserve for 2 trucks is $677,819.50. Ending available fund balance is $2,143,093.72. And outstanding accounts payable is a credit of $2,520.69.
Any questions? If not, stand up presented, thank you. How about we switch public comment to standing order? You got till 10:30, right? Public comment. Anything, ladies?
Just here to observe.
Just here to find out what's going on.
That's good.
I mean, Kathy keeps us informed, but we wanted to be live and in person.
Good.
We like that. We like that.
That way you can help keep me on track
Tonight.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I don't think that could happen.
You're right.
Alrighty. Want to start with the manager's report?
All right, our tree work, the Riker Road tree work, the stumps have been pulled, dug up, we just gotta haul them away. And then that'll be ready for the, light ditch and deburn.
Which township is it? Is that
Litchfield, yep, that's Litchfield.
Send them away to where?
Hmm,
You send them away?
we'll haul them to our pit
Oh,
over on 49. And, tree trimming on Bird Lake Road and Beecher Road is completed. They still have to pull the stumps on Bird Lake Road for the ditch and deburn. They are trimming Blackbridge, finishing up that. They figured they'd have that finished today, and then that'll be ready for the ditch and deburn we have there. The stumps on Nichols Road have been hauled away and dug up. That's ready to start ditching and deburning and limestone. We started scraping for salt brine last week for one day.
Then the rain came.
Had every intention on scraping Wednesday, Thursday, letting them spray Friday and Saturday, and then just continuing right on up north Monday, and the rain came, and we're starting over Monday, weather permitting. So we'll be re-scraping everything in Camden Township Monday, and then we'll start spraying the brine right behind the graders, and that, weather permitting, we'll start in Camden and go north, like we talked before. Hopefully the weather cooperates this time. We have scraped shoulders on the state roads. We've got to finish up 127. Then we're gonna do some spot gravel patching on the state shoulders. We've had a few crews out coal patching pretty much every day, trying to keep up with the holes. And then we'll be starting the limestone and gravel patch within the next week or so.
Bless you.
So,
The work you did, Bird Lake and Black Bridge, was any of that in Adams Township?
that's all in items.
Okay.
It's the
That's all.
contract we have for ditch and deburn for Bird Lake Road from the township line to Bacon in Adams. And then on Black Bridge, it's from Peterson Road to Bacon.
That's all been completed.
The tree.
The trees on Bird Lake Road have been completed. We have to
Get the stump.
get the stumps dug up and hauled out of there. And Bird Lake, or Black Bridge, they figure they should get it finished today, cause there's a crew working south from Bacon and there's a crew working north from Peterson.
Is that stumps too?
No,
So
Today
they
it's
won't
just
see,
trimming.
they won't see any billings until all the
Oh.
trees are, the
Yeah.
stumps and everything are done,
So
so,
the job's complete,
yes.
cause there's ditching to be done.
It's two different contracts,
but
the
yes,
tree
there's
contract
tree
and,
contract and then the ditch and deburn contract.
Okay.
What did you say about gravel patch?
for
We'll
state road.
start that probably the middle of the end of next week on our township roads.
We're at the, I thought we was gonna wait till after the rains and.
We're not gonna wait till after it's done, we're just not gonna let that hold us up.
Okay.
So you
So-
would move right into Camden Township after it's brine? You're not gonna go
No, I'm
everywhere?
probably gonna start hauling and reading
Okay.
while they're scraping Camden. And we should be able to get Reading's limestone hauled while they're scraping Camden.
Okay.
And then they'll be come into that. That way we won't have to go back and re-spray, spot spray. But if it gets to where we
Just keep
catch them
on
with the
going.
graders, they're just gonna keep going and we'll go to a different township
Mhm.
to haul.
Okay.
That makes a lot of sense, I like that
So-
idea.
Cause I have a call into Corey Burke with Reading for confirmation of where they want theirs. And that's kind of my intention, was to start Reading while they're scraping in Camden.
We got most of the limestone, don't we?
Most of it, we got a little bit more, I gotta get Wrights hauled into Pittsford Pit. But once he gets Osseo Pit finished up, that's gonna be pretty much everything we need other than Wrights,
Really?
Pittsford Township.
It won't take them long to do right.
No,
And that's just for the patching, not
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
material for the
Right.
berming ditches. So
Right.
they'll still have limestone for those projects. Yeah.
Okay. What else you got?
that's about all I have.
So I have
Sure,
questions, and we got time for a couple.
we got time.
So, Lake Diane and Sellers Road. Did the guy down there ever get started on that?
No, it rained the day he was supposed to start, and it hasn't dried out enough for him to do that yet.
We're raining ever since.
We had been in contact with him about it, and like I said, it rained the day that he was gonna start doing it.
Yeah, I mean, where was he the 10 days prior to the start of the rain? Because, I mean, my neighbors all around me were farming and the dust was flying. I don't see any reason why he couldn't have been out there doing that.
Yeah, and I don't know what his schedule is or what his plans were, but the day he was supposed to start it was when it started raining.
Yeah, so I know next week if I go to the Amboy Township meeting, I'm gonna get an earful.
All I can tell you is it started raining the day that I was told he was supposed to start it.
Well,
Okay, and then another question, this is in Woodbridge Township. There's a tube on Frontier Road, south of Burt Road, right south of Ned Wise's property. And they're quite concerned about that, they claim we've had a flag there for
No,
an
we
extended
fixed
period
it.
of time.
It's not flagged, we fixed it with stone until we can get to it fixed. We're currently working with Matt Word.
Okay.
It's in my update.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
in your update, okay.
well, from their conversation, one of their concerns was that they had heard this was an issue with Eagle, to get Eagle's approval to do this.
Okay. That's gonna be a Heather answer for you.
Okay.
She's working on that, and we are in contact with Matt Word, cause it is a county drain,
Okay,
on getting that done.
good.
So,
Glad to hear.
We are aware of it and we are working on it.
Anything else, Kevin? Heather?
Okay. Update on the Elm Road Bridge, where we stand with that. I think you guys are aware we don't have to do a muscle survey, which
Yeah.
yay for that. We did submit the permit and the lady that's doing the review came back with, I guess, like some change orders or revisions that she needed done. One of them specifically is for, she is concerned of the span of the structure, so that would be like the width. What we proposed after the hydraulic report was done was a smaller structure than what is existing. And that threw a red flag to her. But she said if we could provide some type of language to support why we went with a smaller structure, she would review that. So we got our emails between Charlie and John Scabina that state if the hydraulics allow it to be a smaller one, if it will work with a smaller structure, then John Scabina would be okay with it. So we've submitted that to her. We'll see if that's enough. But then there's also a few, probably a half a dozen more things that have to do with the plans that Charlie's looking into. So once we get all those revisions to her, then she can review it and hopefully submit it. But realistically, I don't foresee us replacing it this year. I think it'll be next summer probably.
Really?
I'm guessing.
And why do we wanna go with a smaller tube? Who decided that?
The hydraulics, the consultant that we went with all of her design and everything that went into it, she was able to fit a smaller one, cause it's a bridge now.
Right.
So it's just, well, it's a bridge, but it doesn't constitute a bridge cause it's less than 20-foot span. But it would fit with all the calculations that they did, so we were proposing a pipe arch to replace the structure that's there now. And John Scabina had said in some of his notes that railroad bridge that's upstream of it actually helps us because that reduces the flow that goes through there anyways. The next one is the Buckeye Road west of Bird Lake Culvert and the Somerset Road north of Stewart Structure. The Somerset Road's one that's closed, and then Buckeye Road is just in need of replacement. We have sent out requests for proposals from 3 different consulting firms. We've gotten one back. The other one said they're not going to submit a proposal because they just don't have the time to do it. And the other one is supposed to be getting it to me in the next week or so. Depending on cost, we might end up having to put a package together and put it out to bid. It is professional service, so isn't that what we determined did not have to have a competitive bid, correct?
Yes.
So maybe we might not have to do it competitively. We might just be able to choose it by their qualifications. So that's good. But obviously we'll keep cost in mind. So the consulting firm will handle all of the hydraulics and permitting and all the engineering stuff on it. Territorial Road culvert replacement. That's all been approved. We're just awaiting permitting through ODOT now because we're doing a detour down 99, 15, 20, and then up 127. We've got the approval from MDOT to put the temporary signs out on the Michigan side, but ODOT, I finally got a hold of somebody yesterday and they said they were gonna review it and they would get back with me in the next couple days. So as long as they're okay with it and it works in their schedule, then it's okay. The time frame is June 16th through July 11th. We had to put a time frame in there for the permitting with MDOT and ODOT. So we tried to work that around the stump drain and Camden Road projects, so they're not all closed at the same time.
How many mile is that detour?
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but it's mainly for truck traffic. We're doing it for truck traffic. The local traffic, we're just gonna go around the block, I guarantee it. But we have to sign it for truck traffic.
Alright,
That's why we're doing it that
that
way.
makes sense.
And we did take quotes for the signs, cause there's like 360 square feet of signing and 10 barricades that we have to have for this detour route. We got 3 different, quotes. Action Traffic gave us one that was like 10.4. Give them a break was one just under 6,000, and Spartan barricading was around 2,500. So we're going with Spartan barricading. The other ones, I think they were more expensive because they added like minor traffic devices and mobilization costs into it, where when I specified it, I said we just need the cost for putting the signs down. Our guys can check them, our guys can put them up, take them down, and these other guys put their own inspection fees and stuff like that into it. So I got a hold of Spartan and told them we'll use them, and we just have to give them a 2 weeks notice before we're ready to put the signs out. The Frontier Road, south of Bird Lake Road culvert. We are working with the Drain Commission to work under their exemption, so we don't have to deal with Eagle on this permit, because it is a county drain. They have, Matt has shared with us, a couple different, legal, what would you say, agreements, I guess, proposals, that we could potentially sign. We all need to sit down, like, I think Bob has sent it to, is it Bill Henn? He sent it to Bill Henn, McChrystal, for their approval, and then Matt Word wants to sit down with his legal counsel and us to make sure it's all what we want. But then we want to reach out to Eagle once we approve everything through the Drain Commission and make sure that this does protect us, that we can work under his exemption. Because we don't want to assume we can work under the exemption, do it, and then get it after the fact and have to change things or whatever. So, but we are working, Eagle is not a part of this at all right now. Eagle knows nothing about this culvert, we have not talked to them about it, we are just trying to see if we can get it done through Matt's exemption.
So just a question on that, in terms of timing, may or may not happen this year.
Correct.
Might get pushed to next year.
Right, I would say if Eagle is not involved, there's a good chance that we'll get in and get it done.
We should be able to have it done by fall.
Yes.
Or in the fall, if we
Yep.
don't have to deal with Eagle.
Right,
If Eagle gets involved, it might be a year or two,
right,
Or 3.
right.
so.
Camden Road between, Pittsford and Tripp Road. We started it yesterday, our crews went out and trenched the shoulders, and I just got a call just before this meeting from Carson, who is like their project manager for Michigan Paving. They might be bringing a mill in today to do the cold milling. There's a little bit of milling down by Tripp Road on Camden. There's milling, on the new timber bridge, and then there's milling on the south Gilbert Road intersection. So they might come down and do that today if they get canceled in Addison, where they're currently at. But otherwise, nothing's happening on Camden today. Tomorrow and Saturday, Concord Excavating is bringing in the aggregate base, because the specs say we're gonna put 2 inches of gravel over the entire road to pulverize in and mix in with the grindings of the asphalt. So that's gonna happen then. They're gonna come in Monday and start pulverizing. So they figure 2 days for pulverizing, and then they're supposed to, weather permitting, come in and start basing it in right away. Like, I assume that means Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, we will be putting a base on it already, which is great news. They're putting 3.5 inches of base on and 2 inches of top. So the 2 inches of top will come a little bit later, pavement marking shoulders will come later. But it is started and it's moving along. And that we'll maintain local traffic for that. It's not gonna be closed. I had the strawberry farmer contact me, concerned about it. Funk's Junk has called and been concerned about it. But there will be barricades for people that are local. There will be barricades put up just to help kinda discourage motorists from traveling down there. But buses, emergency vehicles, we're gonna let people through as much as we can, but we're just trying to put it out there to expect delays, if you're in that area.
Who you say called and checked out it?
The Strawberry Farm and Funk's Junk.
Funk's Junk.
Yes. Yeah, he's at the corner of Tripp and Camden, so he's at the far west end.
He's north of the corner, about a quarter of a mile.
And he's concerned because he gets a lot of traffic for the 127 sales, which happen in August, which this is supposed to be done by June 20th, so it should not affect him at all.
Right.
And then we have the federal aid project that's supposed to happen later this year, that's like the mill and fills on Concord, Herring, and Jonesville. Lakeland Asphalt got that. they haven't reached out yet for like a pre-con meeting or anything on that, so we're waiting to hear from them. We are seeking some quotes from Albright Construction out of Angola. I don't know if you remember that name, Bob, back in the day with sand. They used to do a lot of our bridge repair,
Yeah.
not big federal aid jobs, but just patching work and waterproofing and stuff like that. And when Scott Civil does our bridge inspections every year, they give us back a report of some suggested repairs or fixes that need to be done on bridges. And so we took that list and we handed it off to Albright and said, give us some pricing on what it's gonna take. Cause we all know there's no money to fix bridges, and if we can try to do some maintenance on them and get some type of a maintenance program going, hopefully we'll get a little bit more life out of them. But there'll also be a couple lists that we'll give the Al and Mark for, like, remove a beaver dam, or remove some debris that's there, or fix a washout, or try and help fix some erosion or something like that. There'll be some fixes that we do with our crews on it. I think there was some guardrail things that needed repaired and stuff like that. For primary road repairs, Kevin and I and Mark have been checking the different roads, and we had, I wanna say we had like 15,000 ton of asphalt, that we just, and we didn't even drive every primary road, but out of the primary roads that we traveled, there was probably 15,000 ton that we estimated we would need. And we cut that back for funding purposes to 9,000 ton. So we've cut it down to, it's about 9 miles worth of paver patching spread over 11.5 miles of road. And that could be based on previous year's prices, could be around $675,000 just to put paver patching down. That's not a whole 1.5 inch lift, that's just putting patches in to try and fix the worst spots. And then we figured we'd do about 4 miles of primary chip and fog seal is what we have planned, and then whatever local contracts we have. But I do have a list of the roads we're gonna paver patch and chip seal if you're interested, if you want me to tell you which ones.
You can email it to us.
Perfect,
That
Thank
I will
would
do
be
that,
too.
I will do that. And that's all I've got,
That's it.
and it's perfect timing.
Yes, it
Almost
is.
7:30.
So I have a couple of questions.
Yep.
So there was talk earlier in the year about doing something on that first 2 or 3 miles of Camden Road, east of Camden, where it's really, really bad. Is there any update on that?
That is on our list to work in with the paver patches.
Okay, all right, that's good.
Yep.
Then the next question I have is Territorial Road from M99 west of the state line. In about 2020, we chip sealed and seal coated from 127 west to 99. And that section of Territorial Road is in good condition. But the rest of it is going downhill fast. So what's our plan?
We've got Territorial Road from Cope to 49 on the list of paver patch. And then I believe it's in 2030, that is on our list to do as a federal aid job, Territorial Road is. That whole
That's 5
west
years
section.
away.
I know it is, but we have a couple other areas on Territorial Road added to the paver patch list, but that was some that got cut because of, 675,000 is already a lot, and we don't have enough to do all of it. But it's in our scope, we'll probably add some of it next year as well, to just try and fix with paver patching.
Okay.
Okay.
We are ready for the
All right,
first bid.
the first one is for catch basins. So we have one here. Yep. All right, this one looks like it is from National Industrial Maintenance.
Yeah.
So we'll just add them at the bottom.
Yep.
Okay,
Well, you could probably cross off one, cause I've got M&K Jetting and National Industry Maintenance, those are the only two we have, so you can cross out one of the other ones if you want.
So one that said MK
M&K,
and the other one?
M&K and National Industrial Maintenance, those are the only two bids we have.
I don't have a national industrial.
No, correct, we'll have to add it.
Okay.
So I just wrote it in at the bottom.
Yep. And it looks like for the 426,
What's 400?
What does that
I'm
mean?
just looking at here.
State quantity.
Okay, well, it looks like both the state and the county quantities are $255 each.
M&K,
This is National Industrial Maintenance,
and how much?
$255 each.
so they're both to get together, state and,
They're the same price, so there's 426, state ones
I believe so.
at $255 each. The state total price is $108,630. There's 34 county ones at $255 each for $8,670. And they sent a picture of their pretty truck.
oh, boy, that's a nice one.
Those of you back behind. Alright, so that's that one, and then we have one other one
So it's
here.
around 117,000 total.
17.3.
Geez, I did that, I went more times school.
Okay. So how much were they for each one?
$255 each.
$255 each. And you're doing 34 drains in the,
In the county and 426 on the state side.
So those state, we get reimbursed for those?
Yes, they get billed, when we get the billing, we code it to the state, so when I do the next, when I bill for that month, it gets billed to them.
The only other one was MK.
Yep, M&K Jetting and Televising. Okay, so this one, they have 426 state ones at $225 each for a total of $95,850. Then there's 34 county ones for $225 each for a total of $7,650. And they have pictures too.
Holy jeez. That one's in front of the Capitol.
So have we used either of these contractors before? You know,
No.
Not in the last several years. Rogue has done it in the last several
Road's
years.
one time doing that.
we didn't send a bid project out to them, because they're not listed on here, bro.
Correct.
I have to deal with that later.
M&K's cheaper and they're closer.
I don't know why, what the answer is. I don't know why. They've never got it sent to them in the past before. They've just seen it online, so I don't know why our bid tab wasn't updated from the previous year.
So does Bob want us to decide who we're doing today?
I sent him a text earlier today, and for all these bids, he would like you guys to pick the low bid.
Okay. Well, I would move that we pick M&K Jetting for the catch basin cleaning.
I'll support the motion.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Okay. We got anything else to discuss besides?
We got a couple of other bids, don't we?
Yeah, but next one's at
We gotta wait till
45.
45.
Okay.
11.
We don't know, because it's squeezing closer together.
Yeah.
Right.
10:30, 10:35, 10:40.
The hot mix is supposed to be for 10:45.
Mhm.
You guys must plan on this long about this.
Did you have anything
And
else?
so far, there's no.
That was the National Industrial Road.
Okay.
Oh, I have to wait till 11.
I can go over the roads that we're gonna paver patch and chip seal.
Okay.
Paver patches, we're gonna do on County Line Road, between the county line and Hadley Road.
Are you gonna send an email as to this also?
Absolutely, you do not have to write it all down, it's just to fill air.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'll let you send it.
Yep, Walworth Road, the stretch that we already pulverized, Sterling to Jerome. Jerome Road between Addison and Chandler, there's like a 900-foot section in there that we already pulverized. Church Road between Waldron and Oaks, there's a bad spot there over that culvert. Waldron Road just north of 34, if you're familiar with that, it's like falling off on the sides, we're gonna try and fix that. Pittsburgh Road north of Prattville and Pittsburgh Road north of Camden, there's just a couple small sections, it's kind of, the one part is by Cushmalls, going down that hill, it's really bad, we're gonna try and fix that. And then, I don't know if you know where Whitakers live, but that's north of Camden Road, it's all blown out by their driveway, so we're gonna try and fix that little spot. So they're not like half-mile or mile sections, it's just a small little area. Territorial Road from Coke to M49. McCullum Road, the county line to the village of Montgomery. Camden Road from the village of Camden to Carpenter Road. And then Lilac Road from Cambria Road to South Hillsdale Road. Those are the paper patches. And then.
Sounds like you're all in the southern part of the county.
I should have brought my map, but it's spread out. It's spread out not really evenly. A lot of it's in the southwest, there's a little bit up in the northwest, and then it's spotty on the east side, because you got like the little patches up on Walworth and Jerome, and then you got a little bit over on Church, a little bit down on Walden Road, and then a little bit on Pittsburgh Road. So, yeah. We tried to be fair, but we also tried to pick the ones that were the worst. Chip and fog primaries are gonna be North Adams Road from Millings to Dennings that we paved last year, we're gonna chip that. Camden Road from Pittsburgh to Waldron, that's the next section to be chip sealed. And then Montgomery Road from Long Lake to 49 and from Cambria to South Hillsdale Road. Those will be chip and fogs.
Was you gonna do any paper patching on, Henry Township, Lilac?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
And that's just as what they're proposing, what their
Correct.
game plan is.
Correct.
This depends on budgeting.
Yes, this does not include any of the local chip seals that we were gonna do, or paper patching that we were gonna do. Cause that's all pending contracts and stuff like that. This is just the work that we're doing on primaries, funding 100%.
So what happened to the intersection of Mullins and US 12? North, that's falling apart.
I talked to Chris Kendrick, and he said right now, there's nothing figured in the budget that, we would look at that next year, along with 49 and 12.
So you're not gonna do anything on the local side then? Because the US 12 side's not falling apart. It's the local road that's falling apart, primarily.
Well, back to the stop sign is the state,
It's beyond the stop sign.
it's beyond, okay. We can
Because
look,
you can literally see where they redid US 12 and put the stone and fog seal.
Yep.
And that's holding up. Right after that, the road's deteriorating.
okay.
It's coming around that corner, and again, I've never seen it that bad.
we could look at putting a paver patch there.
I've mentioned this is probably the fourth time, and I've always been told you're gonna look, but I'm not getting an answer.
We will get the estimate together for it.
Okay,
For the local part,
She just said local, like not state,
Yeah,
but it's
not
primary
state.
road.
It's primary
yeah,
road, so.
it's a primary,
Village road's a primary.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, it's a primary road, but it's, where it's falling apart is beyond
the
what,
state part.
yes. Now, if you're telling me that the state is gonna fix the intersection and the curbing there,
That was what
then
was
maybe
discussed.
you're not gonna mess with the other part until after they do that, and that's okay,
Yes.
I just wanna know what the plan is.
Yes, and that was what was discussed because it was there and at 49 and 12 going south.
Right, with it.
That one, that intersection isn't wide enough either. The trailers are going up over the curbing and creating a big hole behind the curb.
Yeah, they're not
And-
filling theirs in with stone, are they?
No. And he said, we would look at that next year, but there's no money set aside for it this year.
And are you talking, like, roughly how many feet? Are you talking like that first mile, only 500 feet, 100 feet,
Probably 100 feet.
100 feet?
I don't know how many feet, but
I would
it's
say
not,
Probably 100
Say
feet.
100.
if you go all the way to cover the culvert that is also a
Right.
dip, I don't know how many feet that is.
Okay.
I must live a quarter mile from that,
Yeah.
yes, and it would not be anywhere near where I live, yes.
Perfect. We'll look at it. It might be added to it. Close to 10:45, but not quite.
Probably all them loads of hay.
Yeah, I think it is. Absolutely. I've been there 35 years.
I'm backing up.
And we have not had this problem. This didn't start happening until they redid that
Until they
road.
redid it, yes.
And I don't know how redoing that road affected coming off of it, but
I think that there's a little dip there.
And so
And now
therefore you're
the tires are digging
they
in
are,
instead of sliding like
yes,
they used to.
yes. So,
Well, and then over time too, water accumulates in that dip, freezing and thawing.
Right.
I think a lot of it is that dip, the tires are digging in
Yeah.
instead of just skating across it now.
yeah, because again, it never did that. We've been there 34 years and it just happened after they put that lift or whatever they did, yeah.
So, yeah, we talked to Chris Kendrick about it, hoping that he would make that one wider and
Right.
49.
Wider is what we need, actually.
Yeah, you got money either.
Yep.
Alright,
Welcome.
It's all got spent around Lansing and Detroit.
Yeah, but
I think when we had that meeting with the state, they wanted to spend a lot, you know, what county was it?
yes,
yeah, no,
So we
Yes.
would have to mill it out.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, we'd have to mill out to be able to.
You got time?
It is on mine.
Go for it.
Okay. All right, now it's 10:45, we're gonna open the hot mix asphalt bids. First one we got here is from Gherkin. Must be Amy sitting back there.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
I said, we're not supposed to cheer for our own team, right?
Right. Okay, so they have got a price for 13A, $70.50. See, okay, that's the thing too. We put out an addendum last week for this, for a secondary price for if it's delivered to a job site. That's why your bid tabs say northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast. To get a price if it's delivered to the job site, and then depending on where we're delivering it, that's why we broke it up. So you're gonna have to make another line under Gherkins for the plant pickup price, cause that's what I just gave you. Is that correct, Amy? That is the plant pickup price?
That is just the FOB, we did not price the delivered.
Okay, so we do not have a delivered price from Gherkin, but this is picked up at the plant. It's $70.50 for the 13A.
How much is it?
$70.50.
Oh, yeah, 750.
So did I. I had
70,
Me too.
50. And then 36A, $74.
plant price.
That is picked up at the plant.
And that's the only two.
Those are the only two prices, and then we've got Michigan paving. Okay, so the picked up at the plant price for 13A is $66.50. The 36A is $68.75. And then he did give a quote for alternative mixes. LVSP. Is your alternate would be your very last thing on your last column. LVSP is $66.50. And then there's also a 5EL price, so you can make another line with the alternate mix. 5EL is $68.75. And then he does have prices for the addendum, but I don't know if you even want me to go over those, because it's not comparable to what Gherkin has.
What was that last price you gave us? Was it $66.50?
Yes.
The alternate mix?
Yes, the 13A and the LVSP are the same price at $66.50.
Yeah.
And then the 36A and the 5EL are the same price at $68.75.
Can I ask what plant that's out of?
Jackson.
Yep,
Thank you.
Jackson. 5EL and LVSP, $68.75.
Nobody else gave us a bid.
Those are the only two bids we have. And then Gherkin's, the bid is firm for 30 days, and Michigan Paving, the bid is firm for 60 days. I think that's all that information.
We had two estimates,
Only two bids for asphalt mixes.
we sent them to all these people.
Yep.
Wow.
How come Gherkin's on there twice on the bid sheet? Is there a reason for that?
They're extra special. Sorry, Mike.
That would be because I am the sales rep for the asphalt, and it also got sent to Mark Craig, who does the bidding for the paving side of the company. So it had gotten sent out to both.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you want,
He's a low bid.
I would move that we get the, estimates to, Michigan Paving and Materials.
I'll support.
Any discussion?
Just a question, I guess. We're in the southern part of the county. And is there any, value to us? Is the Gherkin plant, I guess, where's the Gherkin plant located where this material would be produced?
1660 East Chicago Highway, Jonesville.
Okay, so you're not talking about it coming out of your plant south of Pioneer? And where's the plant where Michigan Paving, where in the Jackson area is it located?
Elm Street in 94.
Okay. So my understanding is we've got to go pick this material up and at these plant sites and haul
For that price, but also Michigan Paving did give us prices delivered to the different quadrants of the county. And if you want that information, I can give you that information. But looking at it, their prices are still cheaper than picking it up at Gherkin's plant.
the delivered price.
Okay. Any more discussion? If not, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried.
We've got, what, 10 minutes?
Heather, you got any more to add?
Come on, throw some more out here.
Well, I come up with something, just ask me some questions.
I just make a comment that I think that the timing on the territorial road thing is good because school's gonna be out, and it's before we start up again in the fall. You know, if the weather cooperates at all, spring planting should pretty well be over for farmers in that area. So from that standpoint, you know, there was some talk early on, or some thought that, you know, maybe this would happen just as soon as the weather broke in spring. So from a timing standpoint, I think it's gonna work out pretty good for people that live in that area.
And it is still pending ODOT's approval of the permitting for the signing. And I did reach out to them, I scoured their website and all their construction stuff that they have up, and there was nothing that said 20 was closed for a bridge, because I know you brought that up in a previous meeting. They had some work that I physically saw myself on 127, they were doing like a mill and fill or something over there. But nobody has come back and said that they have conflicting projects that would make it so they couldn't utilize it. So I don't foresee ODOT having an issue, but that could be the only thing that could affect that timeline. Because if ODOT says, no, you can't do it, then we have to find a different timeline and resubmit or find out why they're not approving the signs, but.
So I was at the corner of 127 and Territorial Road on Monday. And there was some signage there that there was work going on in Ohio. But it didn't indicate the road was closed.
Correct.
It's not, they were milling for a recap.
Yep.
Cause I went down through there Friday, and they were milling it at the time.
Yeah, and if that's the case, they should be done and gone by June 16th.
Correct.
So, won't be an issue.
Yeah, hopefully there's no issues.
Well, they routed through us
Correct.
from Ohio, so I don't think there'd be much dispute.
Oh,
Thank you.
And then another thing,
what, take care of your water?
the Frontier
Blue water?
and Harmon Road, is that the intersection, Frontier and Harmon? The Frontier and Harmon Road intersection, that the township has been,
I'll turn it around.
wanting to put a fill in there
I have selective vision.
to fix the, flooding. Their contract, both townships signed the contract, but,
And we already approved it too.
correct, but they are possibly putting those on hold because, we are gonna meet, we have a meeting set up either the 28th or the 29th. The townships are supposed to get back with us today. We're gonna meet with Amboy and Woodbridge and Matt Word and us to discuss the issue with what Matt talked about in the, last board meeting about, you know, possibly putting that money, the rebuild the road, put it into the drain. We're gonna discuss all that stuff, so
That's right.
Good.
I wanted to update you on that we are gonna meet with them.
Refresh my memory again, what road was that?
Frontier Road and Harmon Road intersection. It's Harmon's a border between Amboy and Woodbridge Township.
It's out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
There's a county drain.
Yep.
You need to get rid of the water.
Yeah, it sounds like there's been a long-standing water problem there.
Yes.
Time to work with.
Yep.
It'd be great if we can work something out like that, instead of just putting a Band-Aid on it to fix it.
Well, in Amboy Township, who I spoke with over there, they agreed that raising the road is not gonna fix the water problem.
Yeah.
It's gonna fix the water over the road, but it's not gonna fix the water problem,
No.
so.
So when Matt was here, the discussion was, is would they be willing to
Right.
put their match towards getting the drain
Correct.
fixed?
And I've not opened that can of
Right.
worms over the phone with them, I
Correct.
wanted them to be here to
Be
get
here
all of
and
the
to get all the
information.
information.
Yes.
Good idea.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the drain commissioner agrees that this is, drain commission's problem?
He does, and his response here was that he wants to fix that, but he doesn't have money in his budget this year to do it. If the townships were gonna spend the money to work on the road, and we suggested maybe he talk to them and work together, and maybe he could fix that drain this year instead of waiting. If they put their money into that versus
Right.
the temporary fix on the road.
He said he has that project broken up in a total of 3 years.
Right.
So instead of breaking it up into 3 years, if he got a match, it could all be done in 1 year.
1 year.
Cool,
Right.
that makes sense.
And then it would be done.
Right, so they were gonna sit down together, discuss all that, and see what they
That
can
should
come
be a
up with.
no-brainer.
Right.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Right.
Depends on,
And in my understanding too, would we be putting some money into the project as well?
If we do the road.
Correct.
If
we
they
do
do
the
the
road,
road
yes.
projects, then yes, but we don't have a part in the drain.
but if they do the road project, that's where our share would go
Yes.
to, and they would have to put their share into the road.
Yes, so if they chose to put their funding towards the drain part, those 2 contracts that were approved, they would be,
Go away.
No.
And we would have nothing to do with it.
Right.
yeah,
It would be between
Until-
them and the drain.
Well, I guess my thought is, if in order to get all of that accomplished, we need to throw a little money in the pot.
how do we do that if it's not a
I
road?
don't think we
We
can.
can, legally we
Give
can't.
that money, we can't.
We can't on the drain. It has to be, if we're doing maintenance or something to the road, yes.
This drain doesn't go underneath the road?
I don't know this.
Runs
Not where the flooding problem is,
Okay,
Runs
it
alongside.
runs alongside the road.
right. So again, it makes sense that if they get rid of the water problem, then the road problem maybe isn't there. Because they were talking about lifting the road.
Right, to keep the water off the
Yeah.
road, but if they get the tile fixed,
Right.
the water won't be there to be
Right.
on the road.
Right.
So they wouldn't have to lift the
Right.
road.
And is this a gravel road or?
Yes.
It is
Gravel.
It's
Four corners.
And then in the future,
This is,
if you get rid of water and we need to revisit it, we could.
And that's it.
Right. But that's not to say that the road commission wouldn't do some fixing of that road under
Under
maintenance
Yeah, under
and some minor stuff if necessary
Yes,
Yeah.
upon
Yes.
getting the drain fixed.
yes.
I'm gonna tell you that we're gonna spend more money on this section than that whole road's worth.
Well, that I don't know. I don't
We are out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the people
It's
that
still a
live
travel-
there and
it's
that
still a
operate
travel
right
road.
there,
Right.
it's,
Yeah.
Right,
And it's a local contract for a local road, and that's what they
Yeah.
chose.
and the drain, county drain problem.
Right.
Yep,
Well, they're not. It's a little-
Yep.
All right, this is for asphalt emulsion. We got a bid for Michigan paving.
All right, let's step back for a minute and educate Kathy one more time.
Yep.
The hot mix asphalt, that's what we're gonna use to paver patch with?
Correct,
Okay, and so it comes in those big trucks?
correct.
And so it's not what we pick up to fill in potholes or anything?
It's not cold
That's
patch.
cold patch.
That's cold,
That's
okay.
fast.
So what's asphalt emulsion now?
That's what we would
Fog
use
seal,
for
chip
fog
seal.
sealing and chip sealing.
Yes.
Alright,
the
alright,
solution.
and that's what I thought, but I just wanted.
That's-
It's the liquid we spray on and put the stone over top of.
Okay, thank you.
makes a mess of your vehicle.
And you got all these fancy little numbers and
Get
letters.
it undercooked, you can dry fast enough.
Okay, so this is Michigan Pavings. And for the CRS-2M, $2.40.